Greetings and welcome to another Lessons with Odin. Today we're going back to basics again as I show you guys the St. Petersburg stitch. Now this has been requested a long time ago and I meant to get to it. I never got around to it, but I'm getting around to it now. So, right now we will be learning the single St. Petersburg stitch. I will get to the double sometime soon, but that is what it looks like, and I've got a clasp attached to it, and it's very skinny and very cute, and a little bit of a variation to your other bangles or something. I don't know. Anyway. So yes, I will be doing this. I kind of like it. It's like a combination between like ladder stitch and a flat spiral of some form, so it's pretty cool. So for this project you will need 2 colors of seed beads. I am choosing to use size 11 and size 15. My size 11 Delicas, actually, because it says that in big black letters and I can't read, apparently. Anyway, yes, so Delicas for the main piece, and I'm using size 15 seed beads. Feel free to experiment with any shape, size, form, whatever you want, but that is what I'm going with today. You will also need whatever findings you are going to use for your piece of jewelry, and a stop bead is probably very handy. And of course, your needle and thread. I'm kind of recommending Fireline for this, even though I'm doing Nymo because that's what I had, but it kind of, if you can see this, makes the stitching a little bit different and not as seamless. You can kind of see the transition bead in the Delica, and how it's kind of skewed. Because I'm using a more flexible thread. You can probably fix this by using Fireline or by using round beads instead of Delicas, but that's how I chose to do it. Those are just my pointers. So let us get started. Alrighty, you can probably guess what holiday I am yearning for just by the colors of my piece that I've chosen. I love fall. I love pumpkins. But yes, I have attached a stop bead to my length of thread because I felt like it. So we're going to start off by adding 1 outer bead. I'm using the green for the outer beads and the orange for the inner beads. I might have gone over that already, but I'm a little tired. Yes, anyway, so 1 outer bead, and I'm going to add 6 inner beads. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to pull that all the way down. I've also left a reasonable tail on the other side because that's what I'm going to use to attach my clasp. With this stitch, you kind of have to go in one direction. You can't really go backwards to add stitches beforehand, so make sure this is kind of what you want to do with your piece. Okay, so I have all 6 of my inner beads here. What I'm basically going to do is pass up, skipping the first 2 beads. I'm going to pass through the middle 2 beads, and this will form a loop, kind of similar to a ladder stitch, with the last set of beads. You see how those are kind of wrapping around? And I'm going to actually pull that down a bit more, so that's flush with each other, pull tight. Then I end up with this loop. Next, what I'm going to do is add 1 of my outer beads, then I'm going to pass back down through the top 2 beads of our longer column here. And what that is going to do is make a little teeny tiny fringe drop on top so that I can continue my stitch. Like that. Now I am in between the top 2 columns. I think that would be the most appropriate word to describe that. Between the top 2 columns of our stitch. Now I'm going to move over to continue our next stitch. So I'm going to add another outer bead, like so, and pass up through next free floating 2 beads that we have. And we sandwich our other outer bead in between there. Now, I am ready to start a new stitch. Now I'm going to add on 4 more of our inner beads, pull all the way down so that everything stacks on top of each other. So I'm going to pass my needle through the first 2 beads that I have added, completely ignoring this thing down here and the ones above it, like we did before. So I'm going to pull tight, and those 2 beads will form another loop. Like that, and the challenge with this one is cinching everything down and making sure that the previous 2 beads in this row of 4 is sticking next to each other. So, keep your tension pretty tight too, and that will help you. So that is what we've got. Now I'm going to take 1 outer bead, do the same thing we did last time, and pass down 2 beads, like so, so that we end up in between the little section there. So I'm going to add on 1 more outer bead and then pass up through these 2 inner beads here. And now we have prepared for our next stitch. That's pretty much how it goes. I'm going to show you guys one more time how to do this, then you're on your own. So, from here, I have 2 free-floating little things here. I'm going to add 4 of my inner beads, pass them down, all the way down. Then I'm going to thread through the first 2 beads that we have added, skipping what's underneath and what's above. So we form a loop. We're going to kind of pull the loop down as best we can. Fireline will probably help you with that. So, now from here to move to the next stitch, I'm going to add 1 outer bead, then pass down 2 beads. Pull that down. We're going to move to the next side by adding on 1 more outer bead, and then passing through the 2 beads furthest away, and continue on. Alright, so that's basically it. You just repeat those steps until you've got the length that you want to make a little piece like that. Now once you've got a few stitches down, you can attach the clasp on the other side with the tail if you like, and if you don't like having the tail hanging around. So, right now I have this loose bead here that we need to be careful of. I've removed the stop bead. I'm going to attach half of my clasp, and this one I'm going to use the ring just because it's smaller, and then I'm simply just going to pass down through this column here, and then I'm going to continue down 4 beads here. It's very loose right now because that is where the stop bead was. The ring has anchored. Now I'm going to reinforce it simply by moving around these 4, passing back up here so that I go through the ring once more. So from here I'm going to go through the center, 2 beads down from this, move over to the 2 beads plus the outer bead. Then I'm going to pass through the ring, and then back down through all the beads once more. Then you're ready to end this thread, and how I do that is I basically just do half-hitch knots underneath the join between the outer beads and the inner beads. So basically I ignore these completely since these are size 15 beads, and I don't like passing through them too many times. So I'm just gonna do a knot right in between these 2 delicas here, if you can see that. Those 2 delica columns, basically. I'm going to put a half-hitch knot there. And then not get caught in any other beads. So once I've done that, I'm going to pass up to the next column. From here and repeat. So basically I'm going to put one more knot in, and this also helps cinching everything together in a way nice tight thing. So I'm going to add my knot in between the two columns of delica beads. It'll be the top of the left one and the bottom of the right one. So one more knot. Pull tight. Then I'm going to pass up through the top two delica beads here, like that, and then I'm going to cut the thread because I only want to do two. And there we go. Continue on until you have finished your piece. Since I'm using an open ring here, I'm probably going to put a dab of super glue on those threads so it doesn't slip into the seam. So yes, have fun, and I will show you what to do on the other side because it's slightly different. Okay. So when you're ready to attach the other end of the clasp, the other end is going to look a little different. So we don't have the whole stitch here, we just have half of one. But there's probably a nice way to put it in, and if you know the nice way, put it down in the comments down below. But all I'm going to do is from here, I'm going to just attach my clasp, pull it down, and then just thread through the neighboring column. Like that, and you will have your thing secured. So you can reinforce this by passing up through the first set of beads, through the clasp, and back down again, and kind of doing that a couple of times, and then passing over here in order to reinforce it, because the joint will have a lot of weight on it, and then end your threads like you do again. You can also attach your threads the same way that you ended them by putting half-hitch knots in between the joints where the outer beads are. And yeah, that should get you going in the St. Petersburg stitch. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make a bunch of little tiny bangles because these are really cute. I do plan on doing the double stitch and the and a join, a V join, because I believe there's a special way of doing that, and I've seen necklaces all over the place. So I will figure it out, and then I will share with you guys. So, yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, this Lessons with Odin. If there are any basics that you'd like me to go over, let me know in the comments down below if there's any other tutorials and such. Don't forget to show me what you make. Tag me on Instagram at odins.musings, and I would love to see what you do. So yes, I think that'll do it for me. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and of course, if there's anything I need to be trying out right now, feel free to leave me a comment down below, and I will see you next time.